What's up, dudes? Where am I supposed to look?
Fuck. All right. Okay.
What's up, buddies? My name is Colleen Welsch, and I'm a coach for freelance writers. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which I am starting today. Today we're going to talk about content calendars, why you need one, how one can get you paid more money by your clients, and how to make one for free. Whether you're going to make these content calendars for your clients or make them for your own blog, this video will show you everything you need to know about how to do it. Let's get started. Let's talk about why you need a content calendar for your blog or for your client's blog. Reason number one, using a content calendar holds you accountable. When you're working with clients, you cannot miss due dates. Let me say that again. You can't miss due dates. They are relying on you to produce content at a certain agreed upon rate. You have to deliver. If you use a content calendar, that will help keep you organized so you can make sure that you're turning in those blog posts on time so they can get up when your clients want them. If you're watching this video because you want to learn how to do a content calendar for your own personal blog, this is also super important. It's basically impossible to build traction on a personal blog if you are not updating regularly. So instead of just writing a post and publishing it willy-nilly whenever you feel like it, you need to be updating your blog at least monthly. I recommend once a week or more if you really want to build some readership. Reason number two is because it actually makes you more productive. And the secret behind this is called batching. Batching is when you do similar tasks for many projects at the same time. And the reason why this works is because you kind of get into a groove. You don't need to change your mental gears in between the tasks. You can just kind of roll through and do a whole bunch at once. Also, you really want to have all of your blogging clients on content calendars so that you can write blog posts when you have time to do it. It's really great to get ahead when you're working with clients because that opens up more space for you to get new clients and make more money. Reason three, it helps you and your clients to stay organized. When you have all your blog posts listed in one place, it really helps you to link back to old blog posts, which is really good for SEO. And it's also a great place for your clients to refer to when they're working on marketing. It makes everyone's lives so much easier and people are much more happy. Reason four, a content calendar allows you to be more strategic. Raise your hand if you've ever realized that Mother's Day is like tomorrow and you want to send out a blog post about it, but you don't have one, so you scramble to make one and it sucks. It's a nightmare. Having a content calendar allows you to plan for holidays, sales, and other events, so you always have content ready to support it. Reason five, most importantly, it will impress your clients. I always offer content calendars as a free service to all of my long-term blog clients. They love it because it allows them to plan all their marketing ahead of time, and I love it because it allows me to work ahead and therefore take on more clients. It's a great way to improve your service, and it definitely makes you look more professional. And when you're more professional, when you look like an expert, when you have great customer service, that means you can charge more, which is what we're all about here. Duh, we're not being freelance writers to be poor. Now that I've hopefully convinced you about why you need a content calendar, let's get into the nitty-gritty about how to set it up. I'm going to be showing you how I make my content calendar in Google Sheets, so you can either follow along and make your own, or if you want to save some time, you can download the content calendar that I use. I'll include the link in the description box below, and then you can just follow along and I'll show you like how it's all set up and what everything means. The first thing you want to do is hit make a copy and save it to your Google Drive. I get a lot of emails of people like, give me access to this document, and I'm like, I can't, because then everyone would see your content calendar. You have to make a copy of it to your Google Drive and then you can use it. So my content calendar template has 3 tabs. The first tab, which you see here, is the content calendar itself, which I'll explain how to use first. The second tab is instructions. So you don't need to come back to this video if you have any questions about how to use the content calendar, unless you just want to see me again, which in that case, I'll be here. The last tab is for ideas. I find that new blog post ideas come to me when I'm writing other blog posts. So I just drop the new ideas into this tab and then I have them for easy reference next time I'm going to fill out the content calendar. All right, so let's get started explaining these columns. Okay, so this is the first sheet once again. So column A, that's this column. This is the publish date. This is the date that the post will go live on your site. So you can either post it that day or schedule it to post automatically if you're working ahead, which you should. And here's a little tip. Try to post on the same day so your readers know when to expect an update. Column B is the draft date. So when do you plan to finish the draft for the post? For my clients, I like to set the draft date 1 week before the go live date. This allows plenty of time for any edits or corresponding blog content creation. Column C is the author. So who is going to write the draft? In many cases, it's just going to be you writing all the blog content, but if you're managing a team of writers, it's really important to know who's going to write what. Column D is the category. So this is what content bucket the blog post falls under. We'll talk more about this later, but you should try to stick to like 3 or 4 categories when you're starting your business blogs. Your client might already have these established, but if they don't, I recommend that you get those established for them. Column E is the title/topic. So I usually jot down a quick little title idea to help me remember what the blog post is supposed to be about. I might go back after I've written it and alter it, make it more clickbaity, more interesting, but this just helps give me an idea about what I'm supposed to be writing about when I get to this blog post. Column F is content notes. This is super important. Definitely take a few notes about what you want the blog post to be about, because I hate when I come back to the content calendar 2 months later and I'm like, well, what did I mean? What am I supposed to write about? And then you basically have to come up with the idea again. Column G is keywords. So what SEO keywords will you use in this post? You don't have to get too crazy with this if you don't want to. Just choose a word or phrase that you're going to use in the title, in the URL, in the meta description, and then throughout the blog post. If you really want to get into it, I recommend that you use Google AdWords to do your keyword research and find what keywords have the highest search volume and lowest competition, but that's another video for another time. Column H, that is the length. The longer the blog post, the better it will be for your search engine ranking. Maybe you want to aim for 1,000 words per blog post, or you want to change the length based on the difficulty of the SEO keyword, so you'll include that in column H. Column I is featured products. This is specifically for if you're working with a product-based business, but if you're working with like a service-based business, like a coach or something, you could also say what service is mentioned in the post. But basically, this is just to make sure that you're getting a good mix of all the products your client offers within the blog content. Column J is the offer/CTA. So what do you want the reader to do after they read this blog post? Do you want them to sign up for your client's email list or follow them on Instagram, leave a comment, buy a particular product? You want to make sure that you have that in mind before you write the blog post so you can kind of naturally lead the customer in that direction. Column K is the URL. So this is where you will include the planned link to the blog post. And then after it's published, you're gonna make sure that the published link matches the planned link. It's really great to have this because then when you are writing future blog posts and you're like, oh, I mentioned a content calendar. Don't I have a blog post about content calendar somewhere? And then you'll be like, oh yeah, I do. Column L is the meta description. So that is a shortened description about what the blog post is about that would show up in search engine rankings. So I'm gonna show you an example of what that is. So in keeping with the theme of this video, I Googled content calendar in Google Sheets. And you can see right here on the first search result that comes up, we have the title, content calendar template for Excel and Google Sheets, and then this here is the meta description, and it says plan your blog and post in advance with a free social media content calendar template for Excel and Google Sheets. So basically it's just a short description of the blog post, so when someone sees your blog post in the search engine rankings, they know what it's about, and you can kind of like hook them and reel them in. Column M is images. So if you use Google Drive to organize your images, you'll just drop the link to the folder right here, and it'll be all easy and ready to go when it's upload time. So now let's talk about putting your content calendar into action. I personally find it helpful to use workflows to manage all those little steps that are involved with creating blog content. For example, creating an outline, writing the post, editing the post, choosing photos. By creating workflows, you can help to remind yourself of all those little steps. I use Asana to manage my workflows because it's free. I love Asana. I love it. So after I finish filling in my content calendar, I add each of the blog posts into Asana. So I'm showing you my example of my editorial calendar for my coaching blog right now, which, by the way, you can visit at colleenwelsch.com/blog. But I do this for all my clients. Like over here, I have all my clients, and each client has their own editorial calendar with all the little tasks involved. So if you click into this, you can see all the short little tasks that are involved with each blog post along with when they're due. And that just helps keep me organized. And then the best thing about it is if you click on my tasks, all your tasks here, they all load into one place. And as you can see, I'm extremely behind on stuff. And that's on seasonal depression. Each client has a blog post template in their folder. So when I have a new blog post, I just click on details and then I click more actions and then duplicate this task. And then I can create a new blog post and just change the dates on the task. And that keeps me organized. Okay, now you have your content calendar template all set up. So now it's time to come up with your blog post ideas. This is how I do it. Step 1, determine your schedule. You really have to be realistic about how often you can post. If this is your personal blog and you're working a full-time job and you're also taking on freelance writing gigs on the side, maybe you can only post once per month. That's totally okay, as long as you post at the same time every month. For your clients, it's most likely that their budget is going to be the biggest constraint. If they can only afford to do 4 blog posts per month, then you're gonna wanna do 1 per week. But if they can afford 8, then you can do 2 per week, because they're paying you for your time. So the reason why you need to determine the consistency ahead of time is so you know how many blog post ideas you need to come up with. Step 2, decide who will write the blog. Will you write all the blog posts or will you outsource some of them? Who will approve and upload the final posts? This is all information that you'll want to have saved in your content calendar. Step 3, brainstorm categories. You want to identify what kinds of topics are going to appeal to your client's customers. You want to start with 3 or 4 categories that are closely related to your client's product or service. If your client makes athletic apparel for busy moms, maybe you want to write about healthy eating for the whole family, quick workouts, and time-saving tips. Then later, depending on how your audience reacts, you can add to these categories or change them as needed. Step 4, brainstorm blog post ideas. For this part, it's really important that you draw inspiration from the ideal customer of your client. If you don't know who the ideal customer is, get in contact with your client and ask them, because this is super important. What kinds of things are they Googling? What kinds of problems do they have that your client is solving for them? One thing you can do is look through your client's social media comments and messages. You want to look at what kinds of questions they're receiving from their customers over and over again. Then maybe you can make a blog post to explain the answer to that question and also kind of direct the customer towards buying a product. Another thing you can do is just ask to speak to a customer service representative at your client's company. They'll be more than happy to tell you what kinds of questions they're receiving on a regular basis. You can also draw inspiration from holidays and events like Black Friday or New Year's Day. Most importantly, just get creative and have fun. And then step 5, fill out the calendar. So now you're going to take your ideas from the Ideas tab and move them into the blog content calendar. Try to fill out at least 1 month in advance. I like to do this quarterly to make sure I'm good to go all quarter long. Make sure that you vary the posts so that you have a healthy mix of categories as well as products and services that you're pushing in each blog post. Now that you know why you need a content calendar and how to use one, it's time to download my 2021 content calendar template. You can just check out the link below to get it. If you have any questions on this topic, just leave a comment below and I'll respond to them. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any other ideas for videos that you want to see, just let me know and I will make them for you. Just leave a comment below. If your client is brand new, what am I talking about? Reason number 1. What is that sound? Who's texting me? Okay. You all ready for this? Maybe I should not have a Christmas mug. But look how cute it is. Back to this. This is the wrong thing.